So a few days ago, we did a podcast or show on the uh, idea of abundance, not creating it, but allowing it. So this is sort of a part two of that because there was a segment that I wanted to really concentrate on that I felt should be separated from the others. And that is the role of surrender. What is the role of surrender in allowing abundance? Again, this is Rethink Podcast. So I want to challenge the way that you think about these terms and these ideologies and the way that you are approaching certain concepts within your life. And this, of course, we're talking about abundance, allowing abundance as opposed to creating it. So that's number one. But also within that construct, what role does surrender? Surrender is usually a term that we don't really like to use because it's sort of tied with negativity or weakness or giving up or even losing. So we're going to talk today about the role of surrender in actually allowing abundance. Just jump straight into it. Many people equate surrender with giving up, but in the context of manifesting abundance, surrender is an empowering choice. And I want you to think about surrender now as an empowering choice. You're deciding to do this. So what are you actually doing? Are you giving up on your dreams? Are you giving up on your desires and your goals and things like that? No, of course not. What you're giving up on, what you're surrendering is the control of how it is going to happen, exactly when it's going to happen. The idea that you have to micromanage or even participate in the process. The only thing that belongs to you is the belief. You set the goal, you believe it's going to happen, and then you allow the universe to bring it to you in the way that it sees fit. So as we talk about surrender today, that is the construct of how we are speaking about surrender. It is your choice. So from that standpoint, you're empowered. You're simply choosing to not take part in the process. And when you think about it, you're choosing to not have this obsessive control, and you're opening yourself up to these limitless possibilities that the universe, that God, that source has for you. And I believe that that really is where the magic comes in. Now, listen, this is not a very easy thing to do because we're not really taught this. We're taught the opposite. Particularly in the West, where everything is so hands-on, you are taught to be a competitor and not a creator. So in a competitive environment, you've got to do. But in the creation environment, it's much less doing and more being. So you have to retrain your mind to understand the concept of surrender. It is an empowering state of being. Why is it empowering? Because once you surrender, you're surrendering to all there is. You're surrendering to this power that you believe has the control of this anyway. So what's the big deal? That's like a kid saying, I've got a problem surrendering, to my parents, the bills and the, to feed me and to take care of me. Well, if that's the case, then it's obvious the kid doesn't really have the resources to do what needs to be done for him. The surrender really is the natural thing to do. Sit back and allow the people who have the experience, the knowledge, and the resources take care of you. That's the concept in which we're talking about surrender. So surrender is about letting go of that obsessive control. It's about opening yourself up to possibilities. And it's also about trusting the process. Trusting the process. So in this state, you're aligned with the belief that everything is unfolding for your highest good, even if it doesn't happen when you want it and the way that you want it. Okay? So what's more important? The timing, the how, or that it actually just happens. If you end up getting married to the person you want, or in the home that you've always dreamed of, or driving the car that you've always wanted to have, or having the health in your body that you've always desired, what difference does it make how it happens or who brings it to you as long as you get what you desire? So let's talk about letting go of control. I've got a few slides today, and I want to kind of go through these, but letting go of control is one key aspect, of course, to surrendering. So letting go of control to create the space for abundance. Once we let go of control, we literally change our vibration, and we start to align with those things that we say that we want. So when we cling to specific outcomes, and I've done this, when we cling to specific outcomes, we close ourselves off to certain paths, certain possibilities, certain opportunities. We try to force a specific timeline. We try to force a specific thing to happen. And the outcome itself is affected because we're creating resistance. We're creating the resistance. We're blocking the natural flow of opportunities. Sometimes, I hate to say it, but it really depends. A lot of people, it depends on who brings them the solution as to if they're gonna accept the solution or not. And to me, that's silly because if you need the solution, what difference does it make who brings it to you, how it comes? If you want the solution, take the solution. Here's an example. If you're looking for a dream job, let's say, surrendering means you still apply. Number one, you still apply for the position, but you prepare yourself for, number one, you don't try to control the exact details. You release the attachment to that one specific outcome or path, and you open yourself up to unexpected, sometimes even better opportunities that align with your overall goal and value. You may be applying for this one particular job, but who knows? Maybe the person who sees your resume at that company leaves the company and goes to a completely different company, but he or she remembers seeing your resume. And so through applying to company A, this person gets your details, but they've already moved to company B, and maybe they call you anyway and say, hey, I know you wanted to work for company A, but I'm actually with company B now, and I thought your resume was fantastic. Are you interested in this opportunity? You never really know how this bridge of incidents is going to what's going to happen on this bridge of incidents. You just don't know. You just don't know. So creating space by releasing control, that means you don't hold tightly to that specific path or outcome. Reduce your resistance to the flow. That means trying to force outcomes creates resistance. You got to know this. And then we gave the example about the job. We could give 100 different examples, but I think you get the idea that by holding to specificities, you block yourself. You block yourself. If you want to be in love and in a loving relationship, but you only want a 5'10" blonde or a 6'5", dark-skinned man, you're kind of limiting yourself. Now, yeah, that's your preference, but at the end of the day, love could come in a couple different types of packages. And who's to say those people are the right for you? I think we all, listen, I've been married for 30 years, been with my wife for 30 years, and I know when I first started dating, I had a particular type. But guess what? My wife doesn't really look like my particular type, or at least what I thought my type was at the time. And of course, I'm young and inexperienced, and I think I know, but I don't really know. You know what I mean? None of those relationships really worked, and I've been with my wife for 30 years. So there. All right, so number 3, the energy of trust and allowing. This is a big deal. So let's really listen to this piece. The energy of trust and allowing. Here's the concept. Trusting in the universe or in life's natural flow, it aligns you with a receptive energy that invites abundance right in. It's a natural flow. This energy of trust is what allows abundance to find its way to you, into your life, and it's often in an unexpected way. So again, the energy of trust and allowance. So here's an example. Think of a person in a calm, receptive state compared to someone who is just, constantly worried and they're tense and they're all over the place. The calm person is more likely to notice and act on new opportunities. Why? Because their mind's not all over the place, not all preoccupied with what's going on. They're not being blocked, not in a cycle of anxiety or of a forced action. Surrendering helps you to embody a state of trust. Surrendering helps you to embody a state of trust. So let's think about that kid again who is trusting his or her parents to feed them, to take care of them, to protect them. They are in a state of trust. And this is the way that you can see yourself in your life. While you are, part of the universe, while you are, you can see yourself from that vantage, the truth of the matter is that your higher self, And this greater awareness allows you to know that there's forces around you. It really is you, but there's forces around you while you're in this body that is helping you to move through this life experience. And if you allow it, the path of least resistance, a path that's very enjoyable if you allow it. But you've got to trust that, I don't know if you call them your guardian angels or just this, excellent vibratory energy, whatever you want to refer to it as, there are forces that are there to protect you and to provide for you. But if you are constantly in anxiety, constantly in depression, and constantly in apprehension, you're not going to see the opportunities and you're not going to see this kindness being done on your behalf. Number 4, let's talk about how to practice surrender in our everyday life. This is the meat of what we're talking about there. How do we get to this state? So first, let's talk about focusing on your intentions, not the details. The solution, not the problem. The destination, not necessarily the journey. Set clear goals, set clear intentions, but remain open as to how they will unfold. Yes, I know it's difficult. What's the first thing our brain starts to do as soon as you say, you know what? I want to be in a relationship, or I want to be married, or I want to lose weight, or I want a new job, or I want to own my own company. Your brain immediately begins to think, how do we do this? And it becomes particularly difficult if you've never done it because your brain doesn't have a reference point. At least for you personally, it doesn't. So what could reverse your progress is your brain begins to tell you, maybe this can't be done. We've never done this before. This is going to be really difficult. I don't think you should leave this company because you've never been an entrepreneur. You chance, losing, where you are trying to do something you've never done before. So that's the deal. So we've got to surrender to a higher power, higher authority that says, you know what? My belief, my faith says that this is a possibility. So I'm going to surrender to this idea. What I want you to do is write down what you'd like to achieve and then release the need to control every stop along the way to your achievement. You don't have to control anything. Only thing you have to do is believe. Believe while you're going through your mindfulness and meditation practice, and know that you will be inspired into action. You will take inspired action. Second thing you want to do is trust in divine timing. Remind yourself that abundance flows when it's aligned with your highest good. When you are being your true self, your higher self, you are aligned with your highest good. That means the path of least resistance. That means all this good stuff comes to you. Good meaning the stuff that you desire. Trust that things may take time, but they will eventually happen the way that they are meant to happen. And you will get to where it is that you want to go. The next thing is practice mindfulness and detachment. Mindfulness and detachment. Use meditation and mindfulness exercises to ground yourself into the present moment. That's very important. We're not lamenting our past and we're not having anxiety over the future. We are right now in this space of life. Life is happening right now. So we're going to use mindfulness and meditation to get us into the space of the now. And then we're going to detach from the outcomes. Is everything good right now? Yes, everything is good with me right now. It doesn't really matter to me how I get into this new home or how I get into this new relationship or marriage. But the fact of the matter is I'm surrendering my trust to the universe, to this higher power, and I know that the outcome will be what I desire. And I'm open to how we get there. I'm open to, different opportunities and possibilities. Journaling may help you as well. It can be a way for you to monitor and release anxious and controlling thoughts. Write down what you're thinking. Write down what you're thinking. Take a look at it on paper. And then that way you can confront and you can determine how to deal with those thoughts. The last thing is to cultivate gratitude. Cultivate gratitude. Focus on appreciating what's currently present in your life. Gratitude opens the door for so many positive other thoughts, so many positive other things to come your way, and it helps to create an abundant mindset. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Just be thankful for the relationships that you do have. Be thankful for the health that you are currently in. Be thankful for the home that you currently live in. Be thankful for the job or the career or the business that you currently own. Okay? Before you get into that next phase, be thankful for where you are. Here's some examples to surrendering leading to unexpected abundance. Many times, as you are traversing through life, there are a multitudinous number of opportunities to see this in action, surrender. But also, there are a lot of times where we're not surrendering and we see stagnation and we see confusion and we see a lot of discontentment because we've not gotten to where we want to go. And this has happened to me personally. I find that when I do get to the point of being confused or discontented, I give up. What do I give up on? I give up on whatever it is I was trying to do to make this work for me. This was my best effort. These were my best thoughts, and it's just not happening. So what happens? In my small self, the little me, not the big I, the little me decides I'm just going to give up. And that's really what I should have did to begin with. And as soon as I take it down, and as soon as I begin to trust the larger part of me, my higher self, things start to flow. Things start to flow. They just do. And my conclusion from that is, had I started off the process by just trusting this larger part of me and listening to that still small voice, practicing my meditation and mindfulness, not focusing on specifics as it relates to the outcome, I probably would have gotten to where I wanted to go much quicker. Much quicker. But I wanted to bring this to you today because as we talk about abundance, as we talk about allowing it and not creating it, I think the role of surrender, I know, the role of surrender is a very large part of achieving that outcome. If you want abundance in your life, and again, the working definition we're using for abundance came from Bazaar, and that is the ability to do what you want when you want. Yes, I know we equate it to a large amount of wealth, and I want you to think of it more as freedom. As freedom. The ability to do what you want when you want. Yes, of course, resources are going to flow to you, but think of it on a larger, more generic scale as freedom. As freedom. So the role of surrender will allow you this level of freedom. So what I want you to do is kind of make that list, go back through the podcast, listen to it again, and start practicing your meditation, be in the present moment. Don't be tied to outcomes. Detach from the outcome. Just know that your higher self has your best interest in mind, and you're going to be inspired into action. And that action, although you don't know what it is right now, is going to be exactly what you need to do to get you to where you need to go. Thanks, guys, for listening today. I really do appreciate it. I hope it's been really helpful. It's been great for me. I've learned a lot. So you guys listen to it again. Come back soon. We'll have more for you tomorrow. Thanks.